feel the installation of surveillance cameras are necessary for theft and other purposes, but I also feel there's a certain mistrust between like the various groups on campus.
Also, I think that if they really do want to sort of enforce something like this, there needs to be transparency. I mean, what is the purpose of these cameras? Who's monitoring the stuff that's being recorded? And so I think that if there is a certain amount of transparency between the admin and the students will not feel as sort of untrustworthy as they probably are feeling right now.
I don't see the point of having cameras in the residence at all, especially on the balcony. It's such an invasion of privacy, and that's been happening a lot lately with the lanyards and with the installation of cameras. And there hasn't been any good legitimate reason that the admins provided us. And we keep getting sent to different offices to have this conversation, but nothing genuinely justifies this.
Well, I think that surveillance is completely unnecessary and extremely demeaning for the student body. It perpetuates two things. One is a complete lack of trust in the student body, and second is a manic desire to control on the part of, the powers that be. And how I feel about it, I feel very sad that there's such a dissonance between what we're being taught in classes and what we experience in our daily lives here, where on the one hand, we're taught through all our subjects essentially to assert our independence, to be free, and on the other hand, every move is being tracked.
Okay, for me, it depends on the reasons given by the admin. So, from what we've heard, they gave us the excuse of surveillance. It's for surveillance purposes and not for theft or anything else. And the fact that there's always a big brother watching us is really unnerving for us and for a lot of us. And that's the main issue that the student body has. Also, they were instilled without asking any of us, and we live in our hostels, and we literally live the entire year here, and you come in and put surveillance cameras at your own free will. It's just slightly unnerving for a lot of us.
I think what the surveillance cameras, especially in the balconies, are raising is the question of suspicion, of how much suspicion the administration has upon the students. If I were the administration, I would take a decision as to where to put a surveillance camera. I would possibly choose the mess, because the mess is one place where a surveillance camera is required and still not there. But the balcony is a place where most of us, at least 90% of us, just go to hang out with our friends or to hang our clothes. And if they want to surveil that, then I do not know what the issue with the administration is. So if I were to talk about prioritization, I don't think the question is of whether there should be surveillance cameras or not, but where there should be surveillance cameras. And for that matter, I would say it should be in the mess, because we have recently heard the case of Akhilesh Gevde, who lost his MacBook in the mess, and it's still not been found, and there is nothing he can do about it simply because there's no cameras in the mess, right? So I think I think the justification the administration has provided till now for why there are no cameras in the mess is that they'll be putting cameras in the mess once the entire mess gets constructed. I mean, that kind of betrays me, that logic betrays me. So I think it's a question of prioritization of places.
See, for me, I think the principle here is about trust. Like what sort of message the admin is sending to the students. If you're putting up cameras inside the residence, which is not even a common area, then that's sort of like not trusting your students enough, right? Okay, the admin's point might be that there is some suspicious activity that's going on, or that there are activities on campus which they do not promote or condone. But in those cases, even I feel, what's the next step that they'll do? Will they talk about installing cameras in our rooms as well, because they're feeling suspicious activities going on there? So it's just about the precedent.
So regarding the installation of cameras in the balcony, the HR had a discussion yesterday, and two main issues came up. One was, why was the student government not kept in the loop while the installation decision was taking place? And the second problem was, people did not realize the importance of cameras in balcony, because the main rationale that has been given out so far is the cameras are there to control thefts, but people don't see why cameras are needed in the balcony. But we had a word with the administration just now, and according to them, one, as for the first point, they accept that mistake, and then they're saying in future for any policy change they are going to involve the student government. For the second part, Arvinder sir says it's mostly to prevent incidents like someone falling, cases of ragging in the balcony, etc. And I had an informal discussion with the VC, and I think a huge reason also is to control substance abuse.
this is with regard to the surveillance, the cameras which have been installed in the balconies by the projects team. Those, again, I would like to inform the student governing body that they are not for surveillance by surveillance. Only if an incident occurs, all right, would we monitor those cameras? Could be, because the railings are not too high, all right, because 7 floors, like anything can happen when children are running, students are running around, somebody, God forbid the situation comes, somebody falls over, or anything could happen. So for such circumstances, that recording should be there. That is all. Again, I would like to reiterate that those are not for monitoring purposes any chance. The monitoring is only with the IT head, me and the director of operations. All right, I'd like to clarify that. Okay.